So let's talk about it. Whether you're planning on nursing or exclusively pumping, I actually always bring a manual pump with me to the hospital. A lot of times colostrum can be really thick and hard to get out. So if for any reason baby's having trouble latching, you're having any issues with nursing, and hand expression is a great choice in those first few hours postpartum, but sometimes that's a little difficult as well. That's where a manual pump comes in handy. When you first have your baby, the Baby Buddha 2.0 is a primary pump. This is the one that comes with the regular flange and the actual tubing. Although the tubing's kind of annoying and inconvenient at times, it does serve a purpose. It's gonna allow you to hold that nice long pull that everybody loves on the Baby Buddha because of the long tubing. So this is going to be your essential pump for the first few weeks when you're looking to build your supply. So from birth and on, this should be your go-to, especially if you're exclusively pumping. Another great option to try is the Baby Buddha portable primary pump with their collection cups. This way you get the wearable convenience, but the power of the primary pump. So this is gonna be your go-to in the very first few weeks after having your baby. And once you're comfortable with your milk supply and your output, you can take a look at your wearables. Wearables are awesome options. They go completely in the bra, and the battery and the motor are attached at the top for easy, convenient pumping. But remember, they're not for all day use. This is a secondary pump. This is used for convenience and on the go. I always suggest maybe 1 or 2 times a day, 3 times max if you're exclusively pumping. They're a great choice, but remember not to overuse them. Now let's talk about what actually has to be sterilized. So you're packing for the hospital, you're getting your bag ready, and you're like, what do I actually need to sterilize now that we know what we need to bring with us? I highly recommend you're gonna sterilize your flanges and your bottles since you're going to be using this with the primary pump when you go to the hospital. You don't have to use this, but if you're gonna bring it with you, you're gonna want it sterilized. I also highly recommend packing your manual pump in your hospital bag. This is also something you're going to need to sterilize prior to being at the hospital. Collection cups and the pieces inside of it do need to be washed and sterilized, especially the silicone flanges. However, if you're not bringing them to the hospital with you, which you don't really need to, you don't need to do it right away. Don't forget about your little inserts. If you have any inserts that you're going to be using with whatever pump it is you're choosing, these do also need to be washed and sterilized prior to use. Let me show a few things that do not need to be sterilized. This little piece here, which toggles between left and right side pumping, does not need to be washed and sterilized. It's actually best that it stays dry. The same goes for the tubing. You never want to get moisture or water in the tubing pieces here. I also do not recommend sterilizing the cap that comes on top of the manual pump. This can be washed, but I wouldn't